Here we are at the Bung Karno Stadium. It's Indonesia and they're hosting Bahrain. They've seen Thailand get a creditable draw. They've seen Vietnam get an incredible win. Now the pressure is on Indonesia to deliver the goods. And there's a good crowd in here. I'm joined by Sassi Kumar. Sassi, I think you've even played at this stadium, haven't you?
Well, yeah, I remember back in '97, the SEA Games semi-finals. We had the fortunate to play against Indonesia, and we lost in that match. But I tell you what, the atmosphere here is just electrifying, and it can be very, very intimidating.
I think the crowd, you were telling me beforehand, the crowd's very close to the pitch here. I think on that occasion there were 120,000. They've reduced the numbers now. It's a 100,000 capacity stadium. There's the referee, Yuichi Nishimura from Japan, and I have to say Japanese referees are usually excellent. You can see that it isn't a capacity crowd. It's very, very hot still, 33 degrees, but the humidity is quite acceptable, only 33%. And in some ways it's the humidity that really takes it out of people. And it's our first look at Milan Mancala, the Czech coach for Bahrain, and probably in that part of the world just about the most experienced coach that you could find.
Absolutely, he's been around in the Gulf region for a long, long time, and he knows the sort of football they play, and that's why a lot of clubs and countries tend to go with him, because he understands the culture and probably gets the best out of the players as well.
Well, interestingly, both of the coaches are East European, but both know their regions extremely well. Ivan Koliev, the Bulgarian-born coach, looks a very spry 49, I have to say, who has been in Indonesia a long time. He's fluent in Bahasa Indonesian, has coached both the national team previously. In fact, in the last Asia Cup he was the coach, on his way out because Peter Wynn was going to replace him. But he's also coached in club football in Indonesia, so he knows the philosophy, he knows the ethos, he knows the players, he knows the place, and he knows the pressure he's under to get a result tonight. So we're underway, Indonesia against Bahrain. And a long ball knocked forward there to JC Okunwane, the Nigerian-born striker. And it's a very positive start from the men in white. Bahrain, certainly none of that slow, patient build-up that we were looking at in last night's game between Japan and Qatar. That's surely the first foul of the game.
You're right, Jamie. Just looking at the pace, it's been really fast and furious in the first 30-40 seconds of this game. But both teams have to be very careful, especially Bahrain playing in this heat. Can take a lot of energy out of you, especially in the second half. So they've got to be a little bit cautious, because Indonesia will be much more acclimatized to this weather. And when it gets a bit tough, they will be the ones that be going.
Well, it's a free kick in a dangerous situation. Now, in terms of height, there is just nothing to compare on the Indonesian side with what Bahrain have to offer. They have several players who stand well over 6 feet tall. They do have an aerial advantage. Can they make it tell? A little bit of wrestling going in. There's Ala Hubail, the number 30 we could see. Number 26 there is JC Okunwane, who was only naturalised at the beginning of this year, so he qualifies for the team. Go for the direct shot, and no problems there for Yandri Pitoy.
Why not? I say just test the keeper nice and early. You can see that the smile on the face of the player there, number 7, Mohamed Wadai, just trying to catch the keeper on the front post there. The keeper for Indonesia, Yandri Pitoy, had it covered all the way.
Never a bad idea to take a shot early on.
Yeah, of course not. I mean, you just want to test the keeper nice and early. You never know, he's not warmed up yet. Might just make a mistake.
Let's just catch him cold. Absolutely. Well, Bahrain, really, perhaps the story of the last tournament. Marvellous performance to finish fourth, given that they have no tradition in this tournament. Oh, that could be a penalty. And the referee, Yuichi Nishimura, didn't give it. My first impression there was contact, Sassi.
Yeah, absolutely. From where we are standing, and just have a look at it once again there. That's the fullback there, Abdullah Omar, just do ever so well. Just pushes the ball past the Indonesian defender, just completely takes him out. The referee, I'm afraid, got it wrong this time.
Well, I think sometimes referees are a bit reluctant to give penalties very early in the game, but I thought Abdullah Omar was very unlucky not to get the pen there. Indonesia coming forward, and it's nicely played wide. Early touch for Mayadi Pangabian. Nice little piece of skill coming forward, but Bahrain very strong in the challenge and a bit too strong for the liking of Mr. Nishimura.
There is Budi's Sudarsono just trying to skip past a couple of players. The Bahraini defenders have no choice but to bring in out that 3 white shirts again against Budi there. Free kick in a very, very good situation. And we've seen in the past, Astaman Panyaro, the skipper, he can hit them from this distance. They're just trying to work it out between themselves there.
You would have thought they might have worked it out before the game started, but a little bit of discussion over who's going to take it. And really, Ivan Koliev will be thinking, okay, this is what we've spent hours and hours of time on the practice ground rehearsing this. The goalkeeper, a little bit of a surprise actually, it's Abdul Rahman in goal. Normally these days it's Ali Hassan who plays in goal for Bahrain, but the number 2 gets the jersey, gets the start. He's a big goalkeeper. Iichi Nishimura very much involved, the referee, in the early stages. Punyaro's not going to have a go. It's Sudarsono. The crowd liked it, but really no problems for Abdul Rahman in goal.
Well, that's never going to trouble Abdul Rahman. After all that discussion and all that meeting, Jamie, that was a little bit disappointing. Straight at the keeper, that's not going to hurt him.
In fact, Abdul Rahman will be quite happy to get a nice touch on the ball there. Just get a feel on the ball and get things moving. So both sides have had a free kick in dangerous positions, neither side able to open the scoring, but a bright, breezy and entertaining start to the game. A glimpse of Mahmoud, the number 27 midfielder for Bahrain. That's JC, big number 26, but flat delivery there, of no use to man or beast. That's Mohamed Hubail, the older brother but the lesser player of the Hubail brothers. Long range effort, well, it was swerving nicely, but really got too much underneath that.
So it's just one of the midfielders there, Mohamed Said. Good sweet left foot he's got, and the ball falls very kindly to him, and has a go from distance, but just sails way over the bar.
Forward come Bahrain again. They're certainly in the ascendancy, and Indonesia not really got their composure just yet.
I'm sure, Jamie, the game plan for Ivan Koliev will be to soak and attack, because they've got some very, very pacey strikers, Indonesia, and Ali Aiboy and Bambang Pamungkas.
They certainly can't match Bahrain physically, but in terms of pace, they're in with a shout. And they have got players who've got goals in them. You mentioned Bambang already, and there's several players who have scored goals. Budi Sudarsono, who's made a bit of a name for himself this season in the Asian Club Championships, where he scored crucial goals against Urawa Red Diamonds, and also got the winner against Sydney FC, which actually attracted the attention of the Australian side.
Yeah, it's just not one of those players who've been linked. There are a couple of Indonesian players who've been linked to the A-League. It's one of the reserves actually. It's not playing. Iba Errol, Sydney FC has inquired about him, but the deal did not go through. But it's good to see that the Indonesian players are catching the eye of other leagues.
Certainly always good for countries if their players can play overseas. Overrun that one. It's JC Opunwane, big, strapping, robust young man.
Well, it's very obvious that since Bahrain's got big, very commanding forwards. The game plan will be to get down the flank and put in those crosses for Jay-Z Okunwanye to attack them. So let's see if that game plan works out for them.
Well, that will certainly be the plan. It's Abdullah Mazouk, big number 3, a giant figure. He's played in Qatar and played in Saudi, as well as currently plays in Kuwait. Most of these Bahraini players actually play overseas, very frequently in Qatar, Kuwait, in Saudi, even in the UAE. They do tend to move around a lot. That's a lovely ball slip through now, good pace. Here's a chance for JC. But good save, comfortable save from Yandri Pitoy.
There's actually Abdullah Omar.
Abdullah Omar.
Yeah, it just gets a deep run from Abdullah Omar there. Just overlapping. Beautiful ball laid up to him. Doesn't really catch the ball really well there. Doesn't have a clean strike on it. Here we look at it once again. The ball just flew through to Abdullah Omar. He's still got some pressure there. Just trying, as you can see, from the inside of the foot. Just trying to pass it into the back of the net. That's never going to trouble the Indonesian goalkeeper.
I think there he needed to get his toe down and drive through the ball. Now, good little run and a decent cross to the far post, but it's well cleared in the end.
Very good play by Budi Sudarsono there on the left flank. Just gets past his marker and puts in a very, very deep cross. And we know Bambang Pamungkas, he's quite good in the air, even though he's just a tiny striker, but he's good in the air. He's got a good spring on him. And very encouraging to see Indonesia very bright from the start.
A clearing header coming from Fauzi Aish, the Moroccan-born defender. Bringing the changes here, Indonesia. No point just lumping the ball high in the middle where the big defenders can get it away. But it comes to nothing on this occasion. Good feet. Little nip through, and here's a half chance. But quickly the chance is closed down. Well, Abdullah Mazouk getting the ball away.
Well, just a couple of players there just getting in the way, Jamie. A lack of communication there, because there was a great opportunity for Indonesia to get into the box and put a shot in, actually.
Well, this is once again Abdullah Omar getting forward. He chips the ball to the far post, but there's nobody there. Overcooked this time. But already it's fairly obvious that Bahrain are enjoying some success when they go down the right flank. The Indonesian left flank looking a little bit vulnerable. Ivan Koliev, dapper figure, keeps himself in very good shape. Was at the helm last time Indonesia played in the Asia Cup finals in China 3 years ago, but already knew that Peter Withe was going to be appointed and going to take his place, and still managed to give a good account of himself as Indonesia got their first ever victory in the final stages of the Asia Cup when they beat Qatar 2-1.
Let's not forget, Jamie, that Indonesia's got a very good league there, very tough league. And with different conferences there, Indonesia, usually the national coach has a huge base to choose from in terms of players for the national team. And it's also at the same time quite a challenge, because they have to travel long distances to look at watch matches and actually scout for players. So whoever's in the helm of, at the helm, has his work cut out for him, that's for sure.
He's going to pick up some air miles, I would have thought, during the course of the season, that's for sure. It's a huge spread of islands, Indonesia, and some of these players do come from all over the place, from Papua, Morocco, some come from Sumatra, and there really is a tremendous amount of travelling to be done. And Ivan Koliev has done a very good job drawing this team together. So there are people, Peter Withe himself included, who feel that they were a bit unlucky at the last ASEAN Championship. They went out, they didn't even make the semi-finals, and that's what cost Peter Withe his job. But they went out without ever losing a game.
Yeah, but there's huge expectation when you are the coach of Indonesia. I suppose that's quite evident in the Southeast Asian region whenever they go into a competition like the ASEAN Championship, and that's what happened to Peter Wee. Not qualifying for the semi-finals is just not good enough.
5 Bahraini defenders back there. And we just got our first real look at Eli Aiboy playing wide on the right-hand side. There's the star man, Ala Hubail. Hasn't really been able to get on the ball so far. Since he came to prominence, Ala Hubail has had injury troubles. Now here's a chance. Is that offside? The flag has stayed down. The home crowd are ecstatic. Abdullah Mazu is mortified, and it's 1-0 to Indonesia.
Well, that's superb play by Indonesia, especially in midfield. They worked hard, got the ball back, and this man there, Budi Sudarsono, that's Bambang Pamungkas, it's Astaman Panyero, the skipper, just threads the ball through, and Budi Sudarsono, who's been lively in the first 15-20 minutes, just locked the ball home forward. The 1-0 lead for Indonesia. What a great start to Indonesia.
And what a superb goal. The skipper getting that ball to perfection. Actually, the linesman got it right. He was level with the last man. And Budi Sudarsono, who scored a couple of crucial goals in club football this season. What a great goal for him to score. And what a result we have on our hands at the moment. Indonesia 1, Bahrain 0.
Well, it still continues. All the Southeast Asian sides doing really, really well against big sides, traditionally big sides. And we've seen that what Vietnam and Thailand has to do, or what they have done, and Indonesia's turn to perform as well. Later on, we've got Malaysia who take on China. So it's big night for all the Southeast Asian sides.
Oh, that is superb from the skipper. Absolutely first class. Great quality ball. Good bit of composure. I would have to say that Abdul Rahman in goal didn't cover himself in glory. I think he took his eye off the ball slightly. And the high fives to Ivan Koliev. Well, what a year this has been for Budi Sudarsono. Really made a name for himself. His club Persik had done very well in the club championships. Surprised a lot of people, and that game against Urawa Red Diamonds was a fantastic one, the 3-3 draw. He scored the equaliser in that game, and now he's scored for his country against Bahrain. The temper's fraying a little. That looks like the first yellow card. Goes the way of Abdullah Omar. Well, Bahrain can't afford to let any ill discipline come in. There's a long way to turn this game around.
Oh, that's a bad tackle by Abdullah Omar there. Had no chance whatsoever to win the ball. Just sliding in, just catching the Indonesian player there. Mohammad Ridwan. He's got to be careful for the rest of the game now. The last thing Bahrain need is one player down. Can be a tall order to get back in this game, especially against Indonesia, who are really powered on by a very strong home crowd.
There was some criticism of the Southeast Asian countries hosting this tournament. A suspicion that having 4 of them in the tournament rather diluted the quality, but from what we've seen so far, you have to say that they've done Southeast Asia proud.
Absolutely, Jamie. I think the gap between the bigger sites in Asia and Southeast Asian sites is getting, I would say it's decreasing every time we see that the gap is getting smaller and smaller, and hopefully, like we've seen, what Vietnam can do against a big side like UAE, and what Thailand has done against they played against one of the big sides from the Gulf area as well. So they've done relatively well, but they need to keep it going.
Well, it will need one of these sides to get through to the next round and to create a little bit of a stir there. Things going very much the way of the Indonesian side. Really do look very physically accomplished. They look strong, positive. That's Ali Boy again. Getting forward, talented winger, great speed, nice control. I think as Sassi mentioned earlier, went to Selangor, and in the first season he was up there. I think they did the treble in the M League. Did very well. Unfortunately, he got injured in his second season, and he's come back down into Indonesian soccer. One thing that's noticeable is that these Southeast Asian sides keep their shape and their discipline rather better than they perhaps used to. Very well coached. I think some of these East European coaches have done a terrific job with these clubs. We've seen Alfred Riedler in Vietnam, who's done so very well. And you see these two East Europeans in action.
Well, I think, Jamie, we spoke about this yesterday, and how good, especially Yugoslav coaches are when it comes to developing younger players, bringing in younger players into the national team squad. And that's what Ivan Kolev has done. He's got a good mix of young players as well as experienced players. So this is good sign for football in this region.
Bahrain clearly shocked by that goal that they've conceded, not really able to get their rhythm going. It certainly wasn't in the script. It's good work. And an attempt to knock the ball in, Mahmoud.
Well, that looked like a foul to me initially. Good defending by Ricardo Salampisi there. You see this earlier, just stood his ground and won the ball clearly. And just look at this. Bit of shirt tugging there. Surprising that the referee didn't pick that one up.
Sassi's sympathies with the defender there. Personally, I could see nothing wrong with that, but we'll leave that for another day. But really, Bahrain not getting anything going. There's the older brother, Mohamed Hubail, just knocking that aimless ball forward. Really need somebody to take control. They haven't got a couple of their experienced players playing here. The number 9, Hussein Ali, and particularly Talal Yusuf, the number 13, are both on the subs bench. And these are the sort of guys who get hold of the ball in the middle of the pitch and can run the show. I just wonder if perhaps Milan Machala has taken Indonesia a little bit too lightly and gone with not quite his strongest starting lineup. Maman Abdurrahman, the biggest of the defenders there for Indonesia, getting the ball away. And there's a little bit of afters, as they say. And I don't like to see that. Maman Abdurrahman asking for the card to be shown. Now, we see this again, Sassi. How do you read it?
Well, just two players tussling for the ball, but we have to watch this closely. We didn't see that. Just a little bit. I don't know.
There's a little bit of play acting there,
yeah,
to be honest.
Probably, yeah, that's right. We didn't get a good angle earlier. Maybe this one, again, just the slightest of touch. Panjaro Astaman just making a meal out of that one.
He's a better player than that. It's a shame that he should do that. But he's contributed in a much better sense to the game. Now can Bahrain contribute with a cross? Ala Hubail, the number 30, is in there. JC Opunwane is in there. It's too deep for everybody though. Disappointing delivery from Rashid Al-Dossari. Milan Machala absolutely furious.
That's a poor delivery there. All the time in the world, he just pick out the play in white there, just overhit it. And that's why you can see the Czech coach is just furious with his keeper.
Milan Machala, who's been in the Middle East now since 1994, just coached all over the place. It's like a who's who of Middle Eastern football. He's been with UAE, Saudi, Kuwait, Oman. He's been with all of the big clubs, Al Nassr, Al Ain. He's also coached domestically in the Czech league, and of course he was in charge of the Czechoslovakian, as it was then, national team between 1980 and 84.
I remember a couple of years, Jamie, when we were playing the World Cup qualifiers against Kuwait. Milan Machala was their coach then. He had a very, very good young side as well, very strong. And that probably was the best era for Kuwaiti football.
Yes, he's had a considerable degree of success in that football as well. Jesse Utina just carried off there. I think he'll be back pretty quickly. Diminutive figure in midfield, but quite waspish. Well, the crowd animated. They're pleased to see that Bahrain returned the ball that was deliberately knocked out of play. Good sportsmanship prevails. And it looks to me as if the Bahraini players have settled down a little bit after the shock of the goal. There were a few unpleasant incidents straight away afterwards, but they seem to have settled. Pinaro very much the brains of the Indonesian team.
Well, there were a lot of talk that Pinaro Astaman would play in the S League in Singapore. A couple of clubs that went, they were quite keen to sign him on, but just his wages were a little bit too high for any club to make a bid.
Well, we've just seen Firman Utina back on the pitch and getting involved in the action. Seems to be none the worse for his little knock on the head. JC misses the header. Really, Bahrain haven't won the balls in the air that you'd expected them to win so far. And that's all credit to Indonesia, who challenged pretty hard for everything.
Well, that's a bit strange because just given the two strikers up front for Bahrain, Allahu Bail and JZ Okunwane, both are big, strong centre forwards, and I'm sure the coach will be expecting them to get a few more knock-ons than the Indonesian defenders winning it. So that's the area where they are really lacking at the moment, because if they can do that, they can really stand their authority in this game.
Appeal for handball there, but the referee not interested. Now, Allahu Bail. Oh, that's a great challenge, and that was really unfortunate. Abdul Rahman having to go around the goalkeeper, around the referee there. And the ball played into the danger zone. And Ivan Koliev saying, yeah, I agree with him, that looked like a handball to me.
Yep, that's very clear. The referee fails to pick that one up, because this would have just allowed Firman to just get away from his marker.
Big figure there, the number 17 we just saw was Hussein Baba. Hussein Baba, solid defender, loads of experience. Hard to this Bahraini defence. Quite evident that the Indonesians have made good progress down both flanks in their first half. Mohamed Ridwan quite prepared to get forward and support.
Jamie, in my opinion, he is Ali boy. He's got a lot of pace and he's quite good on the ball as well. And when he gets into a good position, he can put in some telling crosses. So they really need to get him on the ball.
It's an air shot initially from JC, who is big and strapping, but a little bit short on skill, one would have said. Decent ball in the near post. It's not defended, and what a terrible goal to give away. Just as Indonesia were going so very well, up pops Said Mahmoud to get the equaliser from a nothing sort of ball in, poorly defended on the near post.
That's poor defending by Indonesia, Jamie. They'll be looking at themselves here, and very disappointing. Just started off with this, almost looked like a routine clear out there. In fact, they're losing out to the Bahraini player, but it then falls to a couple of players in the box. No one clears it, and up pops Mahmoud Wadai, just tapped the ball into an empty net, almost.
Well, they won't get an easier chance than that. And just what Milan Machala wanted. The equaliser coming in about the 26th minute. And huge disappointment for Indonesia, and huge encouragement for Bahrain.
I'm sure Ivan Kolev will have a thing or two to say at half-time to his charges, because that was a very, very soft goal to give away. They looked very comfortable. They looked in the driving seat. But they have given all that away now. They have got to make sure that they don't go one goal down, because teams usually, when they concede a goal, the heads go down and they lose the composure a little bit. And just look at Bahrain. They're very confident after that goal. Indonesia need to regroup very quickly.
The goal coming from the right-hand side for Bahrain was Mohamed Ridwan, who lost out in the challenge, and that's where the danger came from. Mohamed Ridwan, very right-footed player, but plays at left back and has been successful there. Usually strong in the tackle, good at going forward, but caught out on that occasion. Good test for Indonesia, and that won't help the issue, just given away rather too easily. And this looks like a substitution. It's Eka Ramdhani. He's preparing to come on. Commanding midfielder, quick, brave, agile, ball winner. And obviously they feel that they're losing out in the midfield, or it could be that injury to Firman Utina might be worse than we thought.
Well, you can see that Eka Ramdhani is not the biggest of the players, but I'm sure he's quick. He's got a lot of pace and passes the ball really well. It'll be interesting to see who he comes on and replaces.
Well, there's one of the mismatches. You can see JC towering over his marker. You have to feel that if the delivery is good from Rashid Al-Dosari, it must spell danger. Oh, that's well defended. Danger not cleared. And it's deflected for another corner kick. Rashid Al-Dosari wearing the captain's armband. Spelling Qatar after the last Asian Cup, when he was a regular in the first team. It's Chris Yulianto with his work cut out, the number 6 marking JC. Peters out for Bahrain. And the crowd just slightly getting on the back of the Indonesians as they give the ball away.
Well, Jamie, Indonesians are looking very vulnerable on the left flank there. They really need to do something about it.
2 bites at the cherry. It's a brave header. Well, Abdul Rahman Mahmoud is arguing that he had his eye on the ball there, and I think the referee called that exactly right. It was a foul, but nothing malicious. So no yellow card. So important for Indonesia to retain possession of the ball now for a little while, but Bahrain do seem to be getting at the task rather better, and obviously hugely encouraged by scoring the equaliser, picking up a lot of the loose balls. Shooting opportunity disappointing. The shot coming in from Rashid Al-Dosari.
That's a wild shot by Al-Dosari, the skipper. Just a little bit too eager to shoot from distance. Here we see the Indonesian substitute there, number 7. We saw that coming. Eka Ramdhani, Ivan Kolev just giving him some instructions there.
And it's in fact Mayadi Panabian who goes off. Midfielder for a midfielder. Eka Ramdhani is not exactly going to help them in the aerial challenges, but he'll be quick around the pitch. Skillful little player, and a midfield that features several skillful little players already. And that wasn't great defending. Sudarsono. He's done some good work. He's really caught the eye, I think, Budi Sudarsono. There are several players that we looked out for beforehand, but he's certainly looked the brightest.
Well, I have to agree with you, Jamie. He's been the brightest for Indonesia.
Decent long-range effort there, and hit the ground just in front of the goalkeeper from Mohamed Ridwan. This time no problem for Abdul Rahman. Challenge from behind, no referee's going to allow that. And we've got another substitution. Shamsul Bakri is preparing to come on. Well, this is unusual, 2 substitutes in the first half.
Clearly Ivan Kolev seeing some weaknesses in his team, and he wants to rectify that before they concede another goal. inside there. Abdullah Mazuki is using his big frame to good use. But Bangman Pamukas, let's not forget, he's had stints in Europe as well. Spent some time in Holland, so he will know a thing or two about being physical.
And he's not afraid of the physical challenge, but Mazuki, Abdullah Mazuki, absolutely enormous. But Shamsul Bakri, if he comes on, is a holding midfielder. So there are further changes in this midfield for Indonesia. There's one of the substitutes already on. Ramdhani, Eka Ramdhani.
Well, I just get a feeling that Ivan Kolev is trying to pack the midfield. Hopefully he can get possession of the ball. Indonesia rather get possession of the ball and pass it around, because they know they're good enough up front to get the goals. But where they're seriously lacking out is that strength and depth in midfield. This is very, very bad news. The skipper, Penyaru Astaman, the man who pulls the string in midfield, it looks as though he's just hurt, just hobbling off. For Shamsul Bakri, this is not good news for Indonesia.
This is bad news, possibly the worst news that Indonesia could get, because very much Penyaru Astaman is the man to orchestrate things for Indonesia in the middle of the park. And again, the referee gives the free kick. Ala Hubail arguing that he just challenged for the ball. Certain amount of sympathy. He suggests there was a dive, but let's take a look at this one again.
Well, just some physical contact there. I think both players had the eye on the ball, so
I think fair enough, give the free kick, but nothing malicious there. As you said, eyes firmly on the ball throughout. Abdullah Mazuki hoisting the ball forward. Shaven-headed players always tend to catch the eye, but Abdullah Mazuki, the number 3 for Bahrain, seems to be in the thick of things the whole time. Very much the man to attack the ball.
It'll be interesting to see, Jamie, how they shuffle across in midfield right now, because Astaman, who's just hobbled off injured, will leave a huge void in the heart of the midfield there. So it'll be interesting to see who sits in that role. Is it going to be Ramdhani, or is it going to be Bakri who will sit in that holding role?
I think Bakri normally plays very much as the holding role. He's been a bit out of favour with the national team for a while. But somewhat of a surprise that he got the call-up for this tournament. But he's out there now. So yet another corner kick for Bahrain. And the corner kick count is beginning to rack up. I do feel that they're likely to make one of these tell at some stage. JC having his shirt tugged by Chris Yulianto. That's a good delivery, but well defended. I think it was Yulianto got his head on the ball. Great work, and it's surely offside. There were several players in offside positions. Good discipline. It was Ala Hubail called offside, but the defensive line for Indonesia moved up together, or reasonably together.
Well, there are a couple of players just straight offside. The big centre half for Bahrain, Abdullah Mazuki, one of the culprits there. It was a great corner to start with, just drilled into the front post. Indonesia dealing with that well enough.
A long time since Indonesia really mustered anything in an attacking sense. Need to get the ball under control. Abdullah Omar. Those flashing yellow boots. Somewhat melodramatic style. Clearly a foul from Mohamed Ridwan.
Here we see Abdullah Omar just trying to get past Ridwan. Just being bundled off the ball there. Very cynical. He's not been getting any joy down there left wing. Mohamed Ridwan finding it very, very hard against a very hard running Abdullah Omar. And that's how they actually conceded the goal. Ridwan failing to clear a ball with very routine.
So the two players in conflict there both have had the yellow card now. Abdullah Omar got the yellow card earlier, and now Mohamed Ridwan as well. I suspect that this young man will be up and about very shortly. He was going at pace, and so crashing to the ground's got to be painful. But Bahrain will really want to keep things moving at the moment, because things are going their way. They would love to get a second goal before half-time and going ahead. Indonesia rather losing their structure, losing their captain. Good work from Budi Sudarsono.
Well, Bambang Pamungkas just applauding the intentions of Budi Sudarsono, just outside of the foot there, just trying to put in the path of Bambang Pamungkas, who clearly has the pace to get behind his Bahrain defence.
That Indonesia could do with getting the ball wide. Certainly, I think Eli Boy could be better used on the right-hand side. And we do have Abdullah Omar ready to rejoin the action. Abdullah Omar, who actually came to prominence in the 2006 World Beach Soccer Tournament. Funnily enough, Canton is very much his domain these days. During that particular tournament, he scored 7 goals, including 3 in the final against Japan.
Yeah, Bahrain are very strong in that beach soccer department, Jamie. They've developed well. They've got a good coach, and they're looking to qualify for the World Cup once again.
Yellow card this time for Eli Boy.
Boy working really hard to track back Al-Dawsari, just trying to win the ball back for Indonesia.
I think both of the Indonesian players there felt that they actually won the ball, but they possibly got the ball, but after contact with the opponent. The referees, as ever in big tournaments, instructed to be very, very severe on physical contact, especially the early stages of the tournament. They've got Firman Utina rolling around after that challenge from the goal scorer Said Mahmoud Jalal.
Oh, as you can see, just that knee catching Utina there. But both players had no clue where the other was. Both were just looking at the ball, had the eye on the ball once again, just clashing into one another. Here we see Milan Machala urging his charges to make sure that they just keep passing the ball around, because that's their style of play, Jamie. They need to pass the ball around, keep it on the deck, and that's where they will find the opening.
And it's very stop-start at the moment. A series of minor injuries, all of them, it seems to me, pretty much accidental. Both players with their eyes on the ball there. It does happen in football. It's a physical contact sport. But the rhythm of the game rather disrupted. These supporters not as happy as they were a little while ago when their team was a goal to the good, but now it's 1-1. Oh, there's a terrible mistake. Shooting opportunity there, Eli Boy. Oh, good save from the goalkeeper, Abdul Rahman. What an opportunity.
Well, that was a huge mistake by the Bahraini defender there, just allowing Eli Boy to get behind him. But a little bit disappointing. Eli Boy, he knows he's much better than that. Doesn't get a clean shot on that one. We get a chance to look at it once again. It was a glorious opportunity. Just falls in the path of Eli Boy. He looks up. Not really too many options in the box, except for Bambang Pamungkas. As you can see, he's just trying to hit it with the inside of the foot. Probably a bad choice to get his foot down, toes pointing downwards, and just hit it as hard as he can. Aim it to the far post. And perhaps if the keeper doesn't get a good touch on it, we'll get another red shirt coming in to tap the ball in.
Absolutely. And it was also a very nice height for the goalkeeper. If he could have kept it low, that would have been a big plus. The mistake coming from Fauzi Aish, who hasn't had the most convincing of halves, it has to be said. Whereas this fella, Abdullah Marzuki, seems to have been everywhere in the defence, the big number 3.
Well, at least that's been encouraging for Indonesia. As you can see, every time they get the ball to Ali Boy, he creates something for them. And that's what they need to do on a regular basis. If you very exciting when he has the ball at his feet and running in the defense. We've seen that on many occasions when he plays for both club and country.
Fauzi Aish feeling that he was being penalised there for a minute and protesting his innocence, but in fact the free kick went his way. As we edge towards half-time, a couple of minutes to go, there will certainly be, I would have thought, 2 or 3 minutes of stoppage time. Bad time to concede a goal, of course. Tell me what's a good time, but neither side will want to give anything away, having kept it so tight during the first 45 minutes.
Absolutely, it can be disastrous if you just concede a goal just before the stroke of half-time.
Well, this could be a goal just before half-time, and it's deflected away by the keeper's feet. The chance not gone yet, and in the end, Yandri Pitoy just happy to grab the ball from the air.
A lot of hard running by JC, open one there. Now Indonesia back in the attack.
Offside, I think the linesman flag up on the far side, and the action thick and fast in the closing stages. It's an offside the other way this time. Well, Yandri Pitoy did some good work there. First of all with his feet. This was the break.
Jay-Z open one in. A lot of hard running, just gets past. He's just trying to go for himself. And then the ball falls to Mohammad Abdul Rahman. Doesn't really get a good connection on that one.
There's a jersey that tells a story. Abdullah Marzuki absolutely drenched in sweat now.
Well, he's been commanding. He's been a rock at the heart of the defense for Bahrain.
Well, just 2 minutes of stoppage time to be added on. And I would have thought, looking at the players there, they could do with rehydrating at half-time. I don't know if they sit in the ice as they do in Europe when they come in at half-time. I would have thought this part of the world that would make a lot of sense, but they may not have the facilities for that.
Well, that can be quite painful, Jamie. Sitting in ice.
Well, that's supposed to be the trick, get the body temperature, the core temperature down as quickly as possible. Not sure I fancy it myself, I'm honest to be honest. Oh, there's a lovely ball threaded through. Good defensive work, just shepherding the ball through, and in the end Bambang Pamungkas unable to do anything with that clever pass through.
Well, that's very encouraging for Indonesia because they are making some very good runs up front, especially Bambang Pamungkas, and he manages to find the path threaded through from midfield, and they need to do that on a regular basis because they can hurt defenses like that.
And here come Indonesia again. Ricardo Salampesi. Well, and on the far side, Budi Sarasono, Eli Arboy, they're all involved in the action still. And Indonesia finishing the half quite strongly. All just helped forward by Abdullah Omar, and it looks to me like the Bahraini players would just like to see the whistle, but here's an opportunity. Can he go all the way? It's a great little run. Oh, disappointing. Almost a toe poke in the end from Ala Hubail, who's normally so much better than that.
Very disappointing finish by Ala Hubail. Probably the star player there, but it's Chris Yulianto just not matching pace for pace. Ala Hubail just dummies in and then uses his left foot, just snaps at it. Not a real attempt, if you ask me.
It looked like a toe poke there, didn't it? Futsal style. An ugly looking attempt on goal. Oh, that's a beautiful header. Now here's the chance. It's on the right foot, the weaker foot, and didn't it look like the weaker foot?
Well, that's very embarrassing. That's in the space of 30 seconds. Ala Hubail gets a glorious chance to make up for it once again. Here we look at it. Ala Hubail probably a touch too heavy there, and then he tries to be a little bit cute there, just trying to catch the keeper off guard.
And that was the last of the action from the first half. The half-time whistle going. So the half-time score from the Bung Karno Stadium sees the home side Indonesia 1, Bahrain 1. We go for a break now, come back and see the highlights. the Bung Karno Stadium in Jakarta. Here's the goal scorer from the first half. Budi Sudarsono put Indonesia 1 goal ahead, and then the equaliser coming from the number 7, Mahmud Jalal. Eli Iboy had a chance late on, the number 8 there, to put the home side goal further to the good. And the big number 26 there, JC Opunwane. Have you been very impressed with him so far, Sassi?
No, not at all. I think he just showed some glimpses of his strength there, but not really quite an accomplished footballer when it comes to keeping the ball on the ground and showing some skills there. But obviously they're utilising his strength and his height up front. But it's not been working out for them so far.
No, I have to say that Bahrain don't look the same side that they were 3 years ago in the preceding tournament in China when they did so very, very well, including a game where they beat Indonesia 3 goals to 1. Wearing the captain's armband now, Bambang Pamungkas. Hasn't really had a slip of goals so far, but he only needs one chance and he can convert.
He's very clinical in front of goal, Jamie. We've seen that on many instances, and hopefully tonight he can actually pull one up for Indonesia. They really need him to be on song, and probably the added responsibility of being the skipper now in the absence of Astaman probably might just urge him on a little bit more.
Only 2 goalkeepers we've had a look at, Yandri Pitoy and also Abdul Rahman. For Bahrain, the referee Yuichi Nishimura was ready to get the second half underway, the only Japanese referee officiating in this championship. And Indonesia with the ball, and it's out to Mohamed Ridwan. Doesn't seem to know quite what to do with it.
And that's where they've been really telling Jamie, the fullbacks have not been very impressive for me, in my opinion. Indonesia looked a bit accomplished in different most of the areas, but the fullback that's the area where they're really struggling.
Firman Utina, the diminutive number 15, has hurt Mohamed Hubail.
Nothing really there, Jamie. Hubail just making a meal out of that one.
Forward come Bahrain, and corner kick given away by Mohamed Ridwan, and pressure on the left back again. Almost everything has come down the flanks, and particularly down the right flank from Bahrain. They had 3 corner kicks in the first half. They've got their first one in the second half in just over a minute. So far, Indonesia have defended them very well. Abdul Rahman Mahmud, and once again it is defended well. They're getting the first header on the ball, Indonesia, and then they are coming out in a line. Good discipline.
Very good discipline by the Indonesian defence there. Held the line really well and made sure the first defender got a hit to that one. And this is where they can be dangerous, hitting Bahrain on the counter, because they've got some pacey forwards in Bambang Pamungkas and Ali Aiboy, and even Firman Utina. These are the players who should get on the ball and run at the Bahraini defence.
So the Sana on the ball there, and Mohamed Ridwan taking over from him. And I have to say, Mohamed Ridwan not really having the best of hearts at the moment.
Not at all. I think he's probably been the weakest link in the defence. The problem is, Jamie, when you play with the 4-4-2 formation, the fullbacks have to be very solid in terms of defending and going forward, and adding on as an extra man in midfield and also going forward. But the Indonesia have not been bright in that aspect. Maybe Ivan Kolev will be looking to change things around.
Certainly in midfield, they've looked reasonably accomplished in Indonesia. They've got definitely footballers in there, they can all play. And they don't seem to be getting mustard out of it at the moment on Bahrain. Ivan Kolev, animated again.
Let's not forget, Jamie, the Indonesian league is a very physical league. The referees are quite lenient when it comes to tackles, so these boys are quite used to robust side of play in the league.
Good refereeing there, playing with advantage, and that's a cynical little bit of obstruction there. And it's Ali Arboy just Hussein Baba brought him down.
That's what we're talking about. Just look at Ali Boy here, just fakes it, some quick feet there. This is what he's good at. Very good on the ball. A little bit of trickery there, just trying to get past the Bahraini defenders. And let's hope that Indonesia can make good use of this set play.
But if they just chip it up in the air, you'd think Bahrain will defend it well. Perhaps drilled across towards the goal. Yes, it is, and it's well defended. But corner kick to Indonesia.
That's a clever ball by Ali Boy. Just trying to find a red shed in the front post. But Bahrain defend really well.
Just hanging the ball up there, and I think one of the defenders was taking a ride there. I think it might have been Chris Yulianto. Sudasano certainly caught the eye in the first half, and interesting that was the first time I think just now that we've seen Eli Boy over on the left-hand side. I think it would probably serve Indonesia well if they did allow him to go both sides.
A little bit quiet in the first 45 minutes. Ali Boy didn't really find his rhythm, but when he did, he had a glorious opportunity to score a goal. Was better second half. He started brightly. Hopefully they can get him on the ball more often and running at the Bahraini defense.
Abdullah Mazuki thumps the ball up the pitch.
Been quite impressed with him, to be honest, Jamie. Probably one of the best defenders I've seen in the competition so far. Very tall, commanding, leads his line well, and doesn't take any prisoners.
And he always commits himself, doesn't he? He's always prepared to go and attack the first ball. Provided you've got someone who can sweep behind, then that's very important. Bahrain making good progress forward there. Rashid Al-Dossari, and it's a free kick. Possibly just a little too far out for the direct strike. It's a substitute, Jamsul Bakri, giving the free kick away.
Well, it's still within striking distance. Sorry, Jamie, it's still within striking distance. As the number 27 there, Abdul Rahman Mahmoud, steps over the ball.
Well, it would favour a left footer from this side if it's going to be a direct strike on goal. And that's what it is.
Well, you can see what he was trying to do, just trying to curl it past the goalkeeper there, but hits it under and puts a lot of height on that one. Never really going to trouble the Indonesian custodian.
Poor free kick in the end. Technique not great, and you could see the reaction of Hussein Baba. I think he shared the opinion. Well, that looked like a tackle from behind, but in fact took the ball cleanly. The crowd disappointed, the referee got it right. Fauzi Aish coming forward. And that's a yellow card there for Ricardo Salampesi. That's 3 yellow cards now for Indonesian players. Beginning to look a worry.
Clearly beaten Ricardo Salampesi. He's got to be careful because the Bahraini players will be pushing on. There'll be a lot of situations that he'll be faced with one-on-one situation. He's got to stay on his feet rather, not dive in, because another clumsy or a wrong challenge could easily see him get a red card and Indonesia down.
Now, not offside this time. I think they sprung the offside trap. It's Ala Hubail. Again, let's have a look. Oh, clearly well onside there, no problem, but just couldn't quite get the good touch on the ball with his head. He shows a great willingness to work. He's a bit of a star, but certainly works his passage, this fella.
Well, I also think that there was not enough communication.
Little ball chipped through and just overhit, and that was a chance. Budi Sudasano could have got a better touch on the ball there. There was a half chance. Great little run inside. Couldn't be found.
Needed the slightest of chance touches Jamie, because Ali Boy was just advancing into the box.
But a nice open game of football. The ball bobbling around a little bit. All of the pitch is a little bit on the bumpy side. Work in the end from Hussein Baba, but good pressure from Bamba Pamukkas as well.
Well, we know he will never give up. He'll chase every lost cause and make a nuisance out of himself.
The offside flag stayed down again, and this time Andy Pitoy in goal does very, very well, acting as the supplementary sweeper, and down goes JC.
See the ball just coming through to JC Okunwane, and the Indonesian goalkeeper Yandri Pitoy doing well enough to get off his line, act as a sweeper, and just a little bit of afters.
Was a little bit, wasn't it, as well? Doing what keepers have to, quickly off their line. Not really created the chances that one perhaps would have expected. See the stat at the bottom there, they've committed a lot more fouls than Indonesia, but not a game that's been littered with fouls, it has to be said. Fauzi Aish getting a bit further forward in this half.
Well, it's very evident that Indonesia, they are really missing their skipper, Abdullah.
What a touch from Bambang there. What's a shooting chance? Well, we said he only needs a glimpse of goal. He almost had one there.
Good play by Bahrain Pamukkas, showing a bit of his class there. Gets the ball, run at the defense, just fakes it. That's it. Probably falls to his not so favourite left foot. But let's not forget, he's quite capable with both feet. But just not finding the range yet.
His first touch when the ball was played forward to him, it was a difficult ball, just plucked it out of mid-air. It was quite exquisite. So encouragement once again for Ivan Koliev, the Bulgarian coach for Indonesia. This is the second successive Asian Cup that he's helmed Indonesia for. Last time around he knew his job was already gone to Peter Witt. This time he's just got a 2-year contract. So he can feel a bit more comfortable this time around. It's Bahrain on the attack. That would have been quite superb. Al-Hubail again.
Weird choice there by Al-Hubail. Had the opportunity to just bring the ball down, bring it beyond. That's JC Okunwane there. He's picking up his strike partner. Had the opportunity to bring it down and advance towards goal, but chose to go for the spectacular. I mean, when it pays off, it looks really good, but when you don't get it on, when you don't get it right, it looks really silly, doesn't it, Jamie?
It's a low percentage move, isn't it? Encouragement again. It's another ball forward. Oh, well read by the big man Abdullah Marzuki. How important is he to this defence?
Oh, he's been superb. He's been superb in the heart of the defence there, just mopping up everything.
This little trio though of Sudarsono, Eli Arboy and Bambang Pamukkas have looked very, very dangerous, and they're getting the three of them closer together in this half and knocking the ball around, and that seems to be paying dividends.
Absolutely, Jamie. I think that is the key. In the absence of Astaman Panyaro, a couple of players have stepped up and taken responsibility. That's what they need in midfield.
It's good defensive work. The two central defenders have done pretty well. Yulianto and Abdurrahman have acquitted themselves pretty well for Indonesia. It's been in the fullback slots where they've struggled, but centrally they've been pretty competent.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, but just earlier there was one incident where Chris Yulianto went to sleep a little bit. But overall they have been quite a good pairing in the heart of the defence. Again, I have to agree with you when I say the full-back position is where they're really struggling at the moment. they can get that right, I think they'll be a very good side.
Chris Juliento, 1 metre 83. That's just over 6 feet. Good in the air, strong. Peter With put him into the team in 2004, and he's not looked back since. A little flick on at the near post, and the header coming down. And ball in there, I think. You can see what Alo Rail thinks. Here's his chest. But we can see Abdullah Marzouki. I can't understand why they don't hang the ball up there and just let Abdullah Marzouki challenge for it, really.
Yeah,
that was handball?
Well, not really, but I think the referee had a better view on that one. But again, you're right there, Jamie, when you say they need to get Abdullah Marzouki. You saw that there was a great leap, just headed the ball towards the ground. And that's the sort of players you need to get the ball on when you have a corner. It's quite strange that they don't really take advantage of that, because they have a huge advantage when it comes to physique. And they got some big players who can really, really hurt the Indonesian defense.
A little bit of afters here, coming in from Abdul Rahman Mahmoud. Just clipping his man was Ricardo Salampesi, born in Maluku, and started his football career in neighbouring Papua. Sometimes plays in the middle defence, and twisting and turning, and the free kick eventually given away by Abdullah Marzouki. He protests his innocence.
Well, that's been the only time that he's been twisted and turned by Ali Aiboy there. Very, very good work by Ali Aiboy. He knew exactly where he was going. Let's not forget, Abdullah Marzouki is a big boy.
Yellow card for Abdullah Marzouki, and the yellow card count rises. 3 for Indonesia, 2 for Bahrain. So he'll have to watch his step from now. And really, a diminutive player like Ali Aiboy can often cause problems for a tall defender. Twisting and turning. Those two getting friendly there, Budi Sudarsono and alongside him Abdullah Omar. Crowd seem to be getting a bit more boisterous as the game wears on. I think as the light goes, just a bit more atmosphere. Shamsul Bakri. Oh, and that's a chance. And it was Ricardo Salampesi. Good ball chipped in, coming in from Firman Utina.
That's not bad, Jamie. Just look at that free kick there. Salampesi just climbing high enough. Great ball delivered into a very dangerous area. Salampesi not just failing to just keep it down.
Just needed to get on top of that one, but encouraging signs again for Indonesia. A little bit of cramp there. A familiar treatment for cramp.
Not too sure if that really works.
Well, I was just wondering if I know whenever I got cramp, that never seemed to do any good at all. But certainly for people who never have had cramp like that, it's an unbelievably painful sensation. Bit of a surprise after just over an hour of the game. Very hot conditions, a lot of sweating, lose a lot of salt, that can induce cramps.
Absolutely. And the humidity as well, it just saps the energy out of you. Players lose a lot of water.
Raking ball knocked forward and well defended. Abdullah Omar embarrassing himself there, trying to flick the ball forward. Down the line. Seeing a lot of the action this half, Ali Aiboy. Decent range effort, he's hit the post, there's the rebound. Indonesia 2-1 to the good, and it's the diminutive figure of Firman Utina who sends the home side and their supporters into ecstasy.
What a superb shot from distance by Perjuangan. The complete run of play there, hits it very, very sweetly, and then the ball hits the post and falls very kindly for the poster boy of Indonesian football, Bambang Pamungkas. He makes no mistakes from 5 yards out.
Just when Bahrain seemed to be in the ascendancy, and the keeper got a hand on that. It was a save, in fact, pushing it onto the post.
That's a great shot, Jamie. Completely catching the keeper out. Had no choice, but he gets a hand to it. But it falls to this man, Bambang Pamungkas, who reacts the quickest amongst the sea of white shirt there. Bambang Pamungkas, Ivan Kolak will be very, very pleased now.
Bambang Pamungkas doing exactly what the forwards should do, always following everything in, reacting quicker than the defenders and keeping his composure and tucking it into the net. 2-1 to the home side. And is this fairy tale start to the Asia Cup for the Southeast Asian sides going to continue? Remember, we've had Thailand with a 1-1 draw, we've had Vietnam with a remarkable 2-0 victory over the UAE. Was wobbling all over the place, wasn't it?
There was a sweet strike there. As you can see, it was just swing all over the place. It makes it very hard for the goalkeepers. And it just boils down to this man getting a lot of the ball. Ali Boy has been very bright and he's been creating a lot of problems for the Bahraini defense. And that was one of those situations where the ball was actually won by him.
Offside this time for Bambang. But as all forwards will do, he will feel so much better about things now he's got a goal to his name. And substitution coming in from Bahrain is, well, no surprise to see this fella come on. Talal Yusuf. Now this is a good footballer. This is very much a playmaker. 33 years of age, perhaps that's why he wasn't started. So very much a veteran these days, but a terrific talent. Plays in Kuwait now.
Just get a feeling that Milan Manchala has just run out of patience. Abdullah Omar will be the man who will be making way for Talal Yusuf. So he's been given the task to help the Bahrainis get back on track, get the all-important equalizer, and perhaps even go for the kill.
Well, Talal Yusuf is very much a playmaker. He's not going to win frequent tackles for you defensively, but he can make things happen. And that's really what Bahrain desperately need. I've been disappointed with Abdullah Omar.
Well, in all fairness, I think he did a lot of hard running, Jamie, but nothing came out of it.
What a good game Firman Utina has had for Indonesia. Really, with his captain going off, I think he's stepped up to the mark and played very impressively. Good user of the football. And a wonderful strike which set up the opportunity for the second goal.
Good to see that Indonesia, they're playing as a unit, especially in midfield. They're imposing their presence there, passing the ball around and trying to look for that opening. And every time they pass the ball out to Ali Boy, he's been looking very, very good. And that's where they're getting a lot of joy. So they need to make sure that they concentrate. It's still not over. There's a lot of time to still play for. And I think what they really need to do is retain their composure and not give it away too easily.
At the moment they're at the right end of the pitch as far as they're concerned, and panic in the Bahrain defence. Corner kick rather needlessly given away by Abdul Rahman Mahmoud. And the body language of the Bahraini players is not good at the moment. They don't look like a team that expects to get back into this and to win it. And the Indonesians are a credit to Ivan Koliev. change the angle. What's the delivery like? It's taken a deflection, another corner kick, and, well, Sudasono saying calm down to everybody, but that certainly won't be a bad thing. Running down the clock, and these fans, I'm not sure they can really have expected their team to be ahead 3/4 of the way through the game. Again they go short. And that's a free kick given away. Not the greatest of work from Sudasono there.
Well, Indonesia got to be careful. It's too early to start playing for the win, just trying to protect the lead. They need to keep getting at Bahrain and try and get a goal and put it beyond them. Just trying to preserve this lead. Dropping back in defense is not going to do them any good.
Ball knocked in by Mohamed Hubail. Just a fairly speculative ball knocked in. Ricardo Salampesi gets the ball away. And certainly Indonesia kept their shape, kept their discipline. Now what's the referee going to give here? Randani rolling around, claiming that he was elbowed in the face, I think. Have a look at that one again. It's a delayed reaction there, isn't it, Sassi?
I mean, just players trying to get another one sent off. That's not a nice thing. But we've seen a lot of that in this game, Jamie.
It's the only downside I think we've seen from this. But we won't get on our high horses and preach to everybody. There's a yellow card. That's the 4th yellow card for Indonesia. One thing it does do is it breaks up the rhythm of the game.
Well, on some occasions that actually helps the team that is leading, because you want to break the rhythm, you want to make sure you run down the clock a little bit, and some teams do that for professional reasons.
Rashid Al-Dosari gets on most of the set pieces. Good ball switch wide. Now, can they get a good cross in? It's a decent enough cross, but well defended again. Indonesia really collecting the second ball. That's so important, and looking to go on the break. That's a disappointing ball out eventually. On that occasion they couldn't find Eli Boy.
Well, to be fair, Bambang Pamungkas didn't have really too many options there. Just looking for people bombing forward. There were shots going forward, but chose to go with one of the fullbacks rather. Poor decision by Bambang Pamungkas, but it doesn't matter. He's got the goal. That matters most.
Well, now we see one of the Bahraini players. Well, this is Ala Hubail. Well, we've seen both sides doing it. I don't think we'll dwell on this, Sassi. I think everybody will be aware of our views on this. We'll see what the referee does. Difficult situation for Yuichi Nishimura. Well, that's a ball in the stomach. Subsequently, he was holding his head.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing, Jamie. And he's just looking at the referee as well. Let's have a look at this one.
Wait, it's actually chested here. It's not even that painful, is it, when you get hit there, Sassi?
No, not at all. He's just trying to get another player sent off.
We'll leave it anyway. The referee will sort it out, and Chris Yulianto saying, "What did I do wrong?"
Oh, that's super referee. That's super referee. I think he's just saw the situation and made a very, very good call.
Both sides are culpable here. A little bit of play acting, and the referee is hopefully going to keep on top of it. He's saying, "I'm having none of it."
That's very, very good referee.
Good work from Yuichi Nishimura, and let's hope we can just get on with the football. So it's a free kick. Bahrain, they need to get something out of this. the sort of ball that desperately Bahrain need.
Yep, substitute just trying to find the big centre half, Abdullah Mazuki, but just overhits a little bit. Bahrain not really getting into the rhythm, Jamie. They're just struggling. They're playing in patches. They've not been able to string a good number of passes to get behind the Indonesian defence.
Very much fits and starts from Bahrain, and they're in a tough group. The other two teams in this group are the Korean Republic, that's South Korea, and Saudi Arabia, who between them have won this tournament 5 times. Korea have won it twice, Saudi have won it 3 times, and so this is a tough group to be in. It would be a disaster for Bahrain if they were to get beaten in their first fixture. On the ball, and there's a lot of pushing and shoving going on in the penalty area. Well, I think in the earlier games, Sassi, it's been quite easy for the referee, but difficult tonight.
Very difficult. As you can see, players are jostling for positions. There's a lot to play for, and the Indonesian players are not giving the Bahraini players any space whatsoever. It's going to get very interesting in the next 15 minutes, Jamie.
That's nice to see. There's a good robust challenge there, and neither of them rolled around afterwards. Good to see.
At least for once.
At least for once. We must hope that the players will keep their discipline, and it will all be about football. It's not going to serve Bahrain any good if they don't focus on playing. They just need to start playing their football. The game's far too fragmented for them. Allah Hubail certainly not made the sort of impact that he did in the last tournament held in China. That's not a goal. The referee had blown already. I think that was for offside.
I'll tell you what, that's not bad a finish. If that was allowed in, probably one of the best goals we've seen in the competition so far. Again, probably we don't really catch it here, but I think it was just before the ball was passed. JC must have straight into an offside position.
I think it's for handball in the end. Handball. Yep. It's just clipped that left arm of JC, and that's good work from the linesman. Well, certainly these games in the Asia Cup, no shortage of interest. And there was a time in the Asia Cup that there were some mismatches, huge scores, big scores. We're not seeing any of that this time around.
Absolutely, Jamie. I think, like I mentioned earlier, the gap is closer now between the teams that were the underdogs before and the traditionally big sides.
Ball just chipped forward, hoping that the big man can get on the end. Ball onside this time, helped into the area. It's off the crossbar. Well, it was a shot, not a cross in the end, and it's Al-Dossari with the cross.
That was really close, Jamie, but I don't think so. Al-Dossari really meant that. A deep run from Al-Dossari, controls it, almost out of options there, just snaps at it. And tell you what, he wasn't too far away.
Just trying to help it into the danger zone, but almost getting a fluke goal out of it. Just saw Talal Yusuf on the ball, and it's certainly making a bit more sense now that the number 11 is on, number 13 is on the pitch. Talal Yusuf using the ball intelligently. We've got a further substitution, and it's the other guy that I mentioned earlier, Hussein Ali, is coming on, and I can't help feeling there might have been a mistake not having these experienced players on from the outset.
Well, it's not worked out for Milan Mancala. The players who he picked to start this game, obviously they've not done the job. They've gone down twice. They managed to pull one back, but can they do enough in the next 12 minutes to get back into this game? That's a big question.
Well, all will be answered within the next 11-12 minutes or so. At the moment, Indonesia surging forward. Ricardo Salampesi And to be fair, both fullbacks have been willing to get forward. No short of energy from the fullbacks. Free kick this time going the way of Bahrain. Hussein Ali trying to come on. Nicknamed Pele in Bahrain. That's a bit of a burden to carry, I have to say, for anybody. Oh, good defending. I'm not sure if it's just me, but Indonesia are just beginning to look a little bit ragged at the moment. The crowd deriding that pass not square.
This is good for Indonesia, Jamie. You know, just breaking up the play a little bit, substitution come in. They just need to take the edge off a little bit of Bahrain. Just play, because there's only 10 minutes left to go. And now probably they can start defending the lead they've got.
Yes, they can now afford to start running the clock down. Hussein Ali taking the place of Mohamed Hubayr. A rather more attacking midfielder, Hussein Ali. But at the moment, Indonesia in the ascendancy again. Broken up, but now suddenly Indonesia are the ones picking up the loose ball. Jamsil Bakri. Touch on the ball again, Bambang Pamungkas. Oh, it's not the worst cross. Oh, that was a chance. Acknowledged by Budi Sudarsono. Bahrain on the top. It's a good ball played in, but well defended. Good tracking back. And Mohamed Ridwan, well, we criticised him earlier, but he did good work there eventually.
Well, this is the early effort we see. Budi Sudarsono had a glorious chance there, but just scuffs at it. I'm not too sure if he actually knew about that one, because Bambang does some very good work. As you can see, he's just praying. A little bit disappointed with himself.
Talal Yusuf with the delivery. Oh, and that's great defending. And that's taken a deflection off the big Abdullah Marzuki. It's a goal kick.
I must add that Indonesia have dealt with the big aerial presence of a couple of the Bahrain players, and they defended well at set plays. I think that's something that they must have worked on in the training ground, because that's very, very important.
Here's the final throw of the dice. It's Abdullah Baba coming on. Number 12, Nigerian ball midfielder. He's an integral part of their under-23 squad, only recently broke into the full national team. And he's got just under 10 minutes to make his presence felt. Work again from Bakri. Oh, support was wide on the right. Bakri again. It's a lovely ball through. Oh dear. Weak strike in the end from Sudarsono. The chances coming the way of Indonesia.
I hope they don't live to regret this one, Jamie, because there was another great opportunity for Budi Sudarsono to put it beyond Bahrain. Here we have a look at that very, very good play there. He was all clear. He had options. He had Ali Aiboy. He had Bambang Pamungkas to pick out, but he chose to go at it himself. Whereas if he had been a bit more composed in front of goal, he could have actually picked out one of his teammates and put them in a better position to take that all-important third goal and put it really, really beyond Bahrain.
Certainly, a third goal would surely put the game beyond Bahrain. It's Abdullah Baba who's on, and really, Milan Machala, he's used all three throws of the dice that he's got. The three substitutes are on. Long-range effort, well wide of the target. It's again Talal Yusuf, who has seen a lot of the football since he came onto the pitch. He's by instinct a leader of men.
Well, you can tell he's very experienced as well, taking the lead. You're right there, Jamie, just trying his luck from distance.
No, we don't have a man of the match, Sassy, but who would you pick as man of the match if you were voting for somebody today?
have to pick someone from the Indonesian side, obviously. There are a couple of contenders. I'd like to, even though Budi Sudarsono has missed a couple of opportunities, but I thought he's been really, really probably the best player in the team for Indonesia. My vote is for Budi Sudarsono, and coming very close after that is it will be Bambang Pamungkas.
Certainly the two goal scorers, and we've got another substitute. Somebody is getting ready to come on for Indonesia. He's a fullback. He's got good pace going forward, but I don't think it's that part of the pitch they need him working.
Absolutely not. I think at this stage of the game, they need to bring on reliable defenders who can be composed. No real surprise there. Ali Boy, he's done his job. A bit quiet in the first 45, but came alive in the second half. And good day in the office if it stays this way. So it makes way for Supardi, who will come on and probably shore up the defence.
Interesting to see whether he slots into the back four to turn it into a back five, or he just holds that position on the flank and defends that side.
And a lot of the coaches, they tend to put 5 men in defence, especially when they are leading. Not even 5 men. They tend to put a lot of players back. Make sure that they have enough bodies at the back.
Well, there's no question that they're not going for the third goal now, Indonesia. They had a corner kick and only 2 players in advanced positions. But there's less than 5 minutes of normal time to play, and the score remains Indonesia 2, Bahrain 1. At the last tournament 3 years ago in China, the score was 3-1 to Bahrain. Indonesia have only ever won 1 game in the final stages of the Asian Cup. That was a 2-1 win over Qatar. This would be the finest achievement in the Asian Cup history for Indonesia. History beckons for this team.
Well, I must say that huge advantage for these Southeast Asian sides playing at home. Big crowds as well, really urging them on.
The danger isn't over yet. It's chipped up on the far post. It's onside. But unfortunately, Yusuf couldn't get a decent strike away.
Well, he's just shaking his head in disbelief. Probably could have done much better. The ball just comes in deep there.
Well, interesting, that was all 3 substitutes working together. Hussein Ali knocking the ball across to Abdullah Baba, and he knocked the cross up for Talal Yusuf.
Again, would have been very pretty if he had gone in.
Sudarsono tries to head for the corner flag and buys time by winning the free kick. And I couldn't disagree with you. I think this fella's been excellent.
He's been really, really good, Jamie, in the absence of the captain. Budi Sudarsono and Firman Utina have actually run the midfield, and especially credit must go to Budi Sudarsono for stamping his class on his game.
Utina over the ball. Bambang Pamungkas showing where he'd like the ball delivered, not in the air. Well, it's gone long in the end, and that's just going to go out for a goal kick, but the clock ticks on. And having enthused about the midfielders and the strikers, I think the 2 central defenders deserve a word of praise. You mentioned it earlier, Sassi. They've defended the high ball extremely well throughout. Fascinating to see whether Bahrain can get this equaliser. Hussein Ali holding the ball up nicely. Looks a lot more composed on the ball than did Abdullah Omar. Budi Sudarsono seems incredibly fit. He's just got energy to burn here. He's worked hard throughout the game, but is still very sprightly.
And I think the key aspect of his game is he's so composed on the ball. He doesn't seem to be hurrying, and when he has the ball, he's very comfortable with the football, and he rarely gives the ball away. I think that is his strength, I must say.
Saeed Mahmoud Jalal, the scorer for Bahrain, hardly figured in the second half, the number 7. Bambang heading for the corner flag and winning the free kick. And if you're his coach, that's exactly what you'd be asking him to do at the moment. doesn't get the ball, gets the man. It's got to be a free kick. And we are rapidly approaching the end of normal time, and there won't be too much stoppage time, I suspect. Comfortable take for the goalkeeper. Abdul Rahman wants to get the ball forward quickly.
Again, that was a poor choice by Perjuangan. This is the time that they should actually put the ball at the corner flag and run down the clock, because what you do is just give the ball to the keeper and he can then start a counter-attack very quickly.
4 minutes of stoppage time. Indonesia holds its breath. Just over 4 minutes to play, and I think that was offside. Linesman had his flag up very early. Bambang came back from an offside position. And we are just through 90 minutes, 4 minutes left, and once again, the middle of the defence, Maman, Abdurrahman and Chris Yulianto won so many headers. Would be one of the great victories for Indonesia.
This probably will be the longest 4 minutes of the life of their lives for a lot of the Indonesian players. And what they need to do is make sure that they keep themselves relaxed, composed.
Keep their shape, keep their composure, and keep their nerve, and they could well win this. Indonesia, the first Asian team ever to play in the World Cup finals. It's back in 1938. They went to France, got beaten 6-0 in the only game that they played, but they've done rather better tonight. And Ivan Koliev, what a great job he's done with this Indonesian side.
Well, if I'm not wrong, I think they were not called Indonesia back then.
Dutch East Indies, I think they were in those days. Not that I actually remember, Sassi, before you say anything. But I think Ivan Koliev, a splendid job. Always a talented side, Indonesia, not always the best disciplined, but they've been excellent in their work this evening.
Can't agree with you more, Jamie, because a couple of players there who have really worked their socks off, and they thoroughly deserve this victory.
If it is a victory. There are 2.5 minutes to go now. Shamsul Bakri, the substitute, just racing to get back. And Bahrain, well, they're out of ideas, they're just going long. Some confusion there. And the referee's got to penalise that little shove.
Well, that's what they don't need. The keeper a little bit too eager. Yan Ripitoy, when his defenders could have dealt with that, they've dealt with it whole night. And what he needs to do is make sure he relaxes a little bit, keep his composure, because the defenders, especially the central defenders, they're good enough to deal with these high balls. He needs to stay on his line. They cannot afford any slip up at this stage.
Well, this could be the final throw of the dice. Looks like it might be a long-range effort. It's a very long way out to be hitting this ball. Yan Ripitoy ought to be up to the task. We've got Syed Mahmoud Jalal. Oh, it's straight into the wall. The wall does its job. And the ball cleared. And I think that was a free kick gone the way of Indonesia. Well, the yellow card slightly harsh.
Well, I think that just sums up Bahrain's night. Very poor, lacked a lot of imagination. That very experienced players, keeper there. All he could have just lumped the ball into the box, mix it up a little bit, and create chaos in the Indonesian box. But he chose to go for it himself. A little bit too ambitious, if you ask me, Jamie.
So Talal Yusuf, the third Bahraini player to get yellow carded. Indonesia got 4 players carded, but nobody in this crowd is going to worry about that, because they are 40 seconds away from an historic victory. The Asian Football Confederation took a bit of flack about allowing 4 Southeast Asian sides to share the hosting of this tournament, and logistically it's been a nightmare, but so far we've had 3 of the sides played, and they've all acquitted themselves admirably.
Absolutely, Jamie. And just the way the organization's gone about doing things, and the crowd, I think the crowd speaks for itself in this part of the world, especially in Indonesia, Thailand and Vietnam. People are really passionate about their football.
Well, they certainly are. Well, that's the 4 minutes played. It's just a matter of when Yuichi Nishimura blows his whistle, and that's it! That's the final whistle. No, it's not. I'm sorry. The crowd got excited and even I got excited with them there. Very much on edge, this crowd. It's not a capacity crowd. Ivan Koliev saying, look, we've had the 4 minutes, why are we carrying on playing? Referee is the only and the ultimate arbiter of time. The ball knocked in, it's a looping header, but easy take for Jandri Pitoy. Arms are raised again. If this was American sport like basketball, they'd run down the clock, and there's no need to. That's it. Yuichi Nishimura blows the final whistle, and what a victory! Celebrations for Ivan Koliev, the Bulgarian coach. So the final score, Indonesia 2, Bahrain 1, the fairy tale continues.